Welcome back to the WAF N Z Show.
WAF N Z, baby.
The WAF N Z here on the Bars and Joysticks Twitch channel. Thank you for tuning in, guys and ladies. Nerd Life, what up with you? Thanks for
Nerd Life.
We got a great conversation going on here. I want to ask my bro Beans, the WAFmeister, what he thinks of the new Man on the Moon 3 album by Cudi himself. And you know, especially as we're both long time not just writers and creators and spitters and iterators of music, but we're also big fans and listeners of this shit. Long time fans of the Mr. Cudi himself, you feel me? At least I'll speak for myself. Like, Kid Cudi is just like undeniably, texturally, one of the most enjoyable people I've ever pushed play on, without
all day.
questions. And texturally, when he get the humming, like even features, it's just good to have him texturally on your songs. And I don't care what nobody say. But what do you think, bro? I didn't get it. I've only listened to, cause I'll pull up the track list right now, just so we could
Yes, please.
I'll pull up the track list now.
And let me do the same for my end on my end too, so I can reference my favorite tracks.
Well, you know what I'll say. I got nowhere near half here. I got all the way up to Heaven on Earth.
Do you know what song you stopped on?
I stopped on Heaven on Earth, but I also skipped.
Oh, okay.
I also skipped Damaged. Because I was listening to Damage. And
you skipped Damage?
Yeah, I big time skipped Damage. I had to swerve
Damage was, yeah.
I was trying to.
Damage was dope. Damage was dope.
I needed something else by then.
Damage was dope.
I needed something else. But I didn't. Well, one thing I like, from what I'm reading on Wikipedia, I really like that it's broken into acts. You know, it's on some real Shakespeare type shit. Some real theatrical type shit.
That's how this
cool.
This album, I listened to it all in the whole set, and that's why I said, like, bro, you just like got in the shuttle, like you just hopped in the shuttle.
I'm gonna listen to the whole thing. I'm gonna listen.
There's only one song that I skipped personally, and that was LC's Baby Boy Flashback, and it was kind of like a homage to his mom. It wasn't like it wasn't trash or anything, but it was just like, yo, to me, he was on such a ball. Like, he was on such a ball that kind of like, it's a good intermission track to kind of like take in everything that he's giving you. That's the only one I skipped, just because like I was feeling that vibe so hard. I was just like, yo, I can't take this intermission. Like, I don't want it. Like, okay. I don't want an intermission, Cudi. But it's a good that placement. Other thing I would say, I don't really remember any Cudi track having this much fucking tracks on something. And 18 songs. And another thing too is, a lot of these songs are like 250, 320. There's only like 4 songs on here that I believe that are like in that 4-minute range. And like 3 minutes or higher. There's like 3 or 4. But yeah, it's like 2. It's like a 5-minute. It's like 3. Yeah, it's like 3. So they were easy to digest and it'd be like, yo, if I really like that, I want to listen to that song. But Tequila Shots was dope.
Yeah, I'll talk on what I've heard. The Tequila Shots
was dope. She Knows
crazy.
This.
See?
Dope. Damage.
Hold on, wait.
Dope.
I'm not agreeing with you. I'm not agreeing with you. I do not enjoy She Knows This. I did not enjoy She Knows This. I felt like, no, I don't want to hear that Migos shit for real. Like, I don't want that Migos ass cadence. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to hear.
I understand that. I understand that.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I understand.
I'm not listening to Cudi for this.
I could take that. I could take that because
I enjoyed it. I didn't skip it, so I didn't hate it. I didn't skip it, so I didn't hate it. So I'll say that it was cool. It was cool, but texturally I was like, I just came off of Tequila Shots, and then came off of Another Day, which Another Day to me just sounds so.
Yeah, Another Day was
plush. It was like
it was really plush.
It was like velvety.
Really, it was more like uppity kind of like. It was kind of like on some pineapples. It was kind of like on pineapples.
Yeah, low key.
Like, you know, it was kind of like on some pineapples type vibe. That's why I was really liking the Tequila and Another Day. I was like, oh, so these are two kind of like both of those tracks back to back.
Dive was okay. Dive was cool near the end of the song because I felt like he got into his like more like his delivery was more aggressive. But I feel like Dive lyrically was just kind of boring to me because it's like Dive.
And I can see how you're saying that because what I'm looking for in the 2020 Cudi track is what songs he had in the vault, and which songs was he kind of more so quote unquote modernizing his style. I felt like Dive was a track that I was like, oh, okay, you modernize it a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Because Cudi's always been a versatile rapper. He raps fast, he can rap slow, he can just do harmonies and do all the shit we love. The textures or what you're talking about. He can give you so much. It's like one of my favorite basketball, like my top 3 basketball player of all, like literally number 3. Tracy McGrady said, "How do you want it?" You get what I'm saying? So like, that's always his approach. So me listening wise, I would say at this part of the album, I'm trying to understand where is he going. So these first set of tracks to everything to where LC Baby Boy, I'm like, okay, this is building up here. Like each song gets crazier. It's building up. Heaven on Earth was like getting to that kind of like the crazy Cudi, like the more insight, like the man on the moon. You kind of get what I'm saying? And then the show out John was a nice like, oh wow, this okay, some UK NY drill shit with some Cudi on it. Oh wow, I didn't think I would like want this, and I didn't think I would need it, but this is gas. So you get that with the show out with Kid Cudi and the Skepta UK drill bull and Pop Smoke, and you're like, oh, okay, so I got my UK drill fixed in for the day. I got my drill fixed in for the day. But I heard that song. The song, I've heard the song here. The song here, to me, that is the best song on this whole fucking project is Lord I Know. And it's literally the last fucking song. Because it concludes it. It concludes your experience and you're just like, yo, to hear all these like pocket bangers for this banger was so necessary. Because I would say this bottom half, everything after like LC's Baby Boy, like September 16, The Void, Loving Me, The Pale Moonlight, Rockstars, even with Trippie Redd. I am not a big Trippie Redd guy, but he fucking went in on that shit. And that's the thing I feel like people don't talk about with Cudi.
Cudi pulls that out of him. I would probably like doing a song with Cudi. Like you're not gonna
Cudi doing a song with Cudi. Anybody, Phoebe Bridges laid down the best vocals. Like I don't listen to Shorty's music, but like she laid down some ass vocals for that "Loving Me" song. You know what I'm saying? Trippie Redd. That's one of like the best things I ever heard Trippie Redd lay down. You know what I'm saying?
Now I gotta listen to this shit now.
And it's a phenomenal project. It's what I want from Kid Cudi. It's what I want from Kid Cudi. I would say being a Cudi fan, because I listened to his mixtapes before he came out with the Man on the Moon album. You get what I'm saying? Like I did my research on Cudi before he even dropped that album. You get what I'm saying? Before he even dropped Man on the Moon 1. I did my like his 2000 cuts. His 2000 cuts. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean? So I've listened to Cudi for a long time. And this to me was just like a really, really quintessential part of his legacy of what he's been creating like since Day and Night, since he hit the scene with Day and Night.
So would you agree that this Man on the Moon 3 album is the perfect pivot off of 2? Do you think this is this is the perfect continuation of the Man on the Moon overall?
Yes, because these first
perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, because these first songs like 1 through 7
Mhm.
before the Pop Smoke joint, I was like, oh, like I'm gonna tell you right now, Tequila Shots, Another Day, she knows this. He had to have those for years, like in the vault, years, years. Those are probably songs that didn't make
Other
Indica or
projects.
something,
Okay.
yeah, or another project. Because it's funny, he talked about this in his Apple Music, and a lot of stuff he was talking about, like I felt before he even like started talking about these things after listening to this project.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, like these are some quintessential like classic Cudi tracks, like vibes, Cudi vibes. I would say when I'm listening to Cudi, I'm looking for like the vibe. You know what I mean? What vibe is? I'm not listening to Cudi to hear like crazy lyrics. I'm trying to hear some vibes in the best way possible. And Cudi's music is so powerful. You know what I mean? I went through so much things listening to his music, and his music would get me out of like funks because like I felt like he was talking to me, and I would say that's what helped me build more transparency in my lyrics, is knowing that I felt that being a consumer with Kid Cudi, that some people feel like that with my music. Like some people would like look into like, yo, like this got me through something. And that's a very powerful like power.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? To kind of like really be transparent with your audience. And and like Cudi, it's interesting because Cudi's like, from what I've known, I don't know he ever won a Grammy or all these things and like all these quote unquote accolades that all these artists have, where I feel like Cudi is like one of the most like influential like artists of our decade, of our time.
I gotta ask you this question. That's the perfect
Yeah.
segue, bro. Who do you think is more influential to hip hop, Cudi or Kanye?
Cudi.
Cudi.
And the reason why I say Cudi is because
I agree with you, but
the reason
I
why
agree with you.
the reason why I say Cudi is because the purpose of his message has always been like, yo, I can't figure this shit out. Can y'all, I mean, help me get on this journey as I try to figure out, and maybe you can figure it out with me too. And this album was kind of like, yo, like I still don't have it figured out, but like I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I'm like really close to that shit.
I feel it.
You kind of get what I'm saying? Like this album is like, it's a really good, like, yo, like I felt good. Like Man and Moon one, I'm like, I was going through a lot of shit, and I was just like, yo, like I needed an album like that. And I was just kind of like, yo, like that spoke to me as far as like a lot of the questions this nigga is like asking. I have those same questions. You get what I'm saying? I have these same experiences. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so like this was just kind of like, yo, like I like me being like 15-year-old Pac, listening to like, you know what I mean, a lot of the early Cudi stuff, and then being 27-year-old Pac, like literally like 12 years later, and still like connecting with you. I feel like that's hard in itself. I still connect with you because I'm someone that's trying to like, I'm pushing 30, I'm trying to figure out this life shit too. But
I feel you,
like your music has always kind of been like a message, you know what I mean? And I feel like that longevity, like I would say Kanye's message was like, you know, like anybody can do it. Like if I can do it, anybody can do it. But on a deeper level, that you don't have to tote a gun. You just have to be like talented, and you can make it in this industry. You can make it in rap. You just gotta be talented. It don't matter where you come from, like the story you tell. Just like you can do it if you're ill. And I just felt like the outside things, that like the clout of Kanye, like the whole buildup of clout, Kanye clout is kind of overshadowed what he's done musically. Even though I feel like that's why I say, the reason why I say Cudi is because like Cudi even pushed that even envelope more, because he was one of the first artists doing like the rock infusion, but it was, you know what I mean, and going to like 80s stuff, but it sounded musically good. You know what I'm saying? And when I say like musically good, like shit was meshed and engineered and mixed correctly. Like it was like people outside of Cudi, like whoever's engineers, producers he works with, like those are some dope people too. Like shouts out to those people, the way they've like meshed all these kind of like crazy ass ideas, because I felt like that shit was very before its time. You get what I'm saying? Very before its time. And he talked about how like Man on the Moon 1 just went platinum like a couple years ago. And I feel like all his shit is just gonna like do that over years. It's gonna just keep doing that over years, because people are gonna start exactly. People are start appreciating it more, because it's gonna be the standstill of time. It's like it's gonna be the standstill of time when people are like oh, I'm tired of hearing 808s. I want to hear some more complex stuff, but I don't want to listen to like dance house because I want to hear more than like 4 bars, but I want to have like a vibe. You know what I mean? And then you'd be like, oh wow, Kid Cudi, I just found that. That's what I was looking for. Because you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So it was quintessential, like it was quintessential when I heard Man on the Moon 3. I was just like, yo, I just hope it's like gas and it's not really kind of like an in-between thing, just kind of like a money grab thing or like a cloud grab thing. And it was way more than that. To me, this is like just as legendary as any project. Like Mr. Solo Dolo Part 3 is fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing.
I seen it on the list. But
Mr. Solo Dolo Part. Usually when people do trilogies of their songs, it doesn't come out like it's either like, yo, it's still a dope song, but it doesn't match 1. It doesn't match 2. You get what I'm saying? But like
that's like Bill and Said Part 3. Bill and Said Part 3 is like
yeah.
That's just a little sidebar time in because you know how I feel about that.
But Mr. Solo Dolo Part 3 is just as good as the first one, if not, in my opinion. I have to listen to it more, but when I heard that, I was like, yo, like this stands up just with like the first 2, if not like this. Over time, it might be better than the first one, just because it's like more context, and it's like more context in it, and it's just more of a subliminal message. I would say that's probably why I enjoyed that kind of like song process, because I'm a creator in that type of light. Mm-hmm. So like that's why I was really like kind of like interested in seeing like that all kind of happen, like audioly, like all in the audio setting. You know what I mean? Like it, I didn't need I just fell back, played some baseball and was listening to this shit, and I was just like, yo, like I had to stop playing and just like really like the bottom of the fucking like this fucking track list is when it just puts the stamp on it for you. Okay. Because the first 4 or 5 songs you're like, okay, cool, all right, yeah, okay, cut, yeah, this is dope, yeah. And like I said, it just kind of like, it's like building chi. It's like building chi. And then when after you get rid of like, because you hear Mr. Solo Dolo Part 3, and then you hear like Sad People, and then you're like, yo, okay, what the fuck is going on? That's why I skipped LC's Baby Boy, because it's just more of a mellow song. And it's like I said, it's not mid, but I was like, yo, it was such a fucking like it just turned like Super Saiyan 2 before Goku turned 3. You get what I'm saying? Like it just hit 2. And I was like, whoa, this nigga just went back down to 1 real quick. Right. I need to get to 3 like ASAP. I want to go to 3 like right now. I want to go, because after those 2 songs, you're like, fuck, I want to go to 3 right now. And then when you get to that, you're like, fuck, dude, this is like an experience. And you're like, oh shit, wow. When you finish it, you're like, wow, like I didn't expect that. And not to say that I was gonna get some mid or something, but I didn't expect to have such a powerful project from Cudi. Just being like, you know, usually when artists are in these type of times, it's like, yo, they still put out good music, like a couple singles that we always remember, but like, was the album gas? You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what makes great artists when you're that heavy in the game, and you can still bang out a project like this. Like I said, it's hard to be like, you have a fan base and you know what people you're hitting, and then being like, as you're fixing a lot of things with yourself, so you don't necessarily have all that type of feeling anymore. So how do you connect with people like that? Because you know, and that's what like all genres. Because you know, look at like bands and like Smashing Pumpkins, like, you know, they used to write like a lot of more like kind of like in-depth type of like fucking like, you know, shit, internal shit, and then like they became dads and shit, and a lot of those people from that age mark were like, yo, like fuck them niggas, they soft. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, you know what I mean? And then yeah, you know what I'm saying? Then it's still only like a small group of those people that like still pay attention to the stuff, because like, you know what I mean, they just love everything that artist or that band puts out. But like, that's when like kind of describe. Yeah, I don't know why the fuck I just said describe. I'm high as shit. But like, that's the only thing I kind of describe to that though, bro. It's just kind of like being like, yo, I'm telling you, after you do that, you're gonna be like, I'm really glad I did that. As a creator, like me and you are, I feel like you'll be inspired to at least start doing anything musically, like write something or something.
Yo,
Like,
to be honest, I think that's what. I think that's all right. I'm sort of interested to see what I have to come with after I listen to a Cudi album of this magnitude.
yeah, I would definitely like us to get a follow up. Yeah. Me throwing the idea of there how gas it is, because it's 93 premium certified gas, triple S rating, super sexy style, baby. Triple S, man, super sexy style. It's phenomenal project. Like I said, I was surprised that something that powerful, and that makes me happy supporting Cudi, you know what I mean, being a fan of Cudi, and being like, wow, now, like, not for nothing, like, after the pandemic, and if we do get any live things, oh yeah, I'm giving him my money. Oh, yeah. He's definitely giving my money. That's so funny. Like, I definitely, like, that's on my bucket list now. Like, I have to, like, feel this dude's energy, see him in a performance, like, and go for myself and experience this myself, and have that moment. You get what I'm saying? Have that moment with, like, you know what I mean, feeling that energy. You know what I mean? Because when I go to a lot of these, I would say being an artist, what I look for is like, okay, like, I enjoy this person's music, but like, how do other people feel? Like, how do they go into it? Like, how is that setting of being like, there's multiple people that fuck with you? Like, how does that work? Like, thousands of people, you know, and like, I always was kind of like more so like enjoying the concert, but more so like critique, like really like doing like a scouting report. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Of okay. Like kind of like being in bigger shows, like doing a scouting report, being like, wow. Yo, okay. How do you, like what are these like acts doing? Like what type of energy they're providing? You get what I'm saying? What type of you know, like one thing that sets with me is like Tupac's House of Blues cut. That song was. Bro, you never seen the Tupac House of Blues?
I never seen it.
Bro, that's what made me such a Tupac fan, was seeing that.
I wish I'll
like, like that DVD.
I'll put it on my to play later.
Yeah, check that shit out. That shit is like, that's the rawest kind of like, it was like a thug church. It was like a thug like church. It was at the House of Blues. Fucking phenomenal. I've always like. That's one thing I enjoyed is like when they used to do like DVDs for concerts and like crazy ass tours. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like when they had like the No Limit and like DMX tour, and you're like, yo, it's like No Limit niggas and no, it was Cash Money and Rough Riders. So like you're seeing this shit and then like Jay-Z's here and you're like, yo, it's fucking like Birdman, Manny Fresh, like Juvenile, Jay-Z, fucking Dipset just pull up out of nowhere. Like you know what I mean? Like, yo, what is going on here? You're like, yo, what is going? That shit was like the WWE or some shit. Like it's just so much niggas in like the same place when you watch these concerts. You're like, yo, it's lit. And that's always what like sold the idea of like being a rapper was that like, yo, like it's like you in the league and you at the all-star game. Like the club is like the all-star game when it's like a shit ton of niggas there at the same time. Now I feel like it's more like a territory thing now. Now niggas are like scared of that. But like, yo, imagine if, you know what I mean, we was bulling and like, you know what I mean? And we was with like Kid Cudi. That'd be hot. You know what I mean? Squad picks. You get what I'm saying? Squad pick. I feel like I guess because it's like rappers quote unquote have to be so macho and all this weird shit. You know what I mean? I guess it's more of like a, you know what I mean? But I don't see that anymore. Like, I don't see that anymore like that.
Texturally, bro, you know what I mean? Cudi's different, I think, because his influence on hip hop and on music overall is just so it's just so evident. It's so evident. Like, yeah, there's so many people. I mean,
that's a fact, bro.
Like texturally, mad people do Cudi shit, and like even how they pronounce words or like prolong certain words. Like I hear it mad places. Like, and everybody does it. We all guilty of it. I don't care. Cudi's music is too influential in a way that it was so widespread. Like, you know, when like you'd have a room full of randos, never met each other, but they know Cudi's music. And this was even back when it was first running up. Man on the Moon 1 was crazy. Like what was going on in my life at the time and where I was and what I was doing, how I was experiencing life with that music as the soundtrack to it. You feel me?
Bro.
Like Man on the Moon 1
There was
crazy,
that shit
son.
was powerful because every song was like, yo, nigga, get the fuck up. Like, you can do it. Like, just get the fuck up.
crazy.
You can do it. Like, keep fighting, dog. Just keep fighting, dog. You can do it. Like, that's what I got from Man on the Moon 1. You know what I'm saying? And Man on the Moon 3 was just like, yo, nigga, like, you know, I'm mad bass now. Got out the fucking Johns. I don't wild out no more. You know what I mean? I got the jit now. But like, yo, I still make bangers. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I still make bangers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I still make bangers. Like, hey, bro, I still make bangers, guys. Like, it was, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was surprised how powerful that John was. Just seriously, like, you know what I mean?
Could you say that it's WAF N Z approved?
Oh, all day certified.
All right.
Once you listen to this album, you will understand what I'm saying.
All right.
Shout out to you guys.